Hello there, and welcome to today's episode of the Easy EdTech Podcast. My name is Monica Burns, and I am so glad that you're here to join me today. If you want to make the most of education technology, aka EdTech, well, you are in the right place. My goal has always been to help make EdTech easier and give you ideas you can try yourself, share with a colleague, or bookmark for later in the school year. Every Tuesday here on the Easy EdTech Podcast, you'll hear stories from my time in the classroom, the work I do now with schools and districts, and my travels to different EdTech events. Get ready for solo episodes where I share some quick tips and stories, and interviews full of practical ideas and stories from new guests each month. If we mention something you'd like to check out, make sure to click the link. You'll find it in the episode description or the summary area where you're listening to this podcast, or you can find every episode and all of the resources we mention by going to classtechtips.com/podcast, or by going to classtechtips.com and just clicking on the Easy EdTech Podcast button at the top of the page. This episode is sponsored by my mini course, Learn ChatGPT This Summer, which is available to all members of my AI and Education membership. Join today and stay for 1 month, the whole school year, or however long you like. You'll get instant access to my mini course, Learn ChatGPT This Summer, with 6 short videos. It's built into my AI and Education membership, so you'll get all the member perks too, like a new video update each month and plenty more to explore. Go to my website, classtechtips.com/AI, to find the link to the membership. That's classtechtips.com/AI for all of the details. This week's episode is all about NotebookLM. If you have heard of NotebookLM before, today I'm going to share some of my favorite strategies. And if you haven't heard about it before, you are in the right place. Lots of teachers are using artificial intelligence this school year, and educators in a variety of roles are exploring the impact of what's possible with AI in education. Teachers can use NotebookLM, that's notebook and then the letters LM, and other artificial intelligence tools to really scale their impact in the classroom. There's lots of different AI-powered educational tools to choose from, and I've highlighted oodles of favorites on the blog and podcast. You'll see even more of those pop up soon. So NotebookLM is from Google, and it's one that many educators are paying attention to. You know, AI in education has just been a popular topic generally in the blog and podcast this year. It's something I'm asked to speak about at events all over the country and in some virtual engagements too. And so whether you're a member of my AI and Education membership or you get a newsletter each week, you know I've been peppering in some favorites and recommendations. So today we're going to jump into NotebookLM as one example of AI in action. And if you've attended a keynote or workshop with me, you might have heard me talk about this or even demo how this tool works. But today on the podcast, I'm going to take you through in audio format about NotebookLM, let you know what it is, how it works, and some strategies for making the most of it. Of course, just like every episode, I'm going to link out to some resources, the landing page, some blog posts that I think might be useful. I've got a whole bunch of things for you. So just make sure to go to easyedtechpodcast.com. That's where you find all the episodes, and look for this one, number 314. Or of course, you can click on the show notes link. That's wherever you're listening to this episode in the summary section. So let's start off first with a what. What is NotebookLM? So if we head straight to the source, the team at Google describes NotebookLM as follows. NotebookLM gives you a personalized AI collaborator that helps you do your best thinking. After uploading your documents, NotebookLM becomes an instant expert in those sources, so you can read, take notes, and collaborate with it to refine and organize your ideas. So I've tried NotebookLM with a variety of sources. I even uploaded the first chapter of the new edition of my book, EdTech Essentials, and used it as the source material for a notebook. Once you set up your notebook with the source material you've uploaded, you can then pose questions similar to the way you might interact with a chatbot like ChatGPT or Gemini. One of the features that has gotten the most attention is the ability to create an audio recap of the source material. It sort of sounds like a podcast, but the two voices aren't actually people. I'm going to post something before this episode goes live. So if you're listening today, you should be able to find it on my Instagram page. I'm going to do a reel for you that shows you a clip from NotebookLM. This way you'll be able to see it in action right there on my Instagram feed. It's just class tech tips. You'll know it. It'll be a video with me and then it playing right below. So if you've heard of NotebookLM, you might have also heard of Illuminate from Google. So what is Illuminate from Google? Well, Google has another tool called Illuminate that also creates these audio interactions with text. This tool is powered by NotebookLM and lets you add your own content or use content they already have access to. For example, they already have some things set up on their Books tab. And you can find in the public domain, books like The Great Gatsby or Sherlock Holmes, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And so you can listen to short conversations about that book. And, I use the term conversation loosely because a conversation is two people talking about something. And this is really an AI generated experience where you have these two robot voices reading an AI generated script, if you will. So you can, of course, in Illuminate, find books that are ready to go for this experience, but there's also a generate option, which is kind of like a simpler version of NotebookLM. So with NotebookLM, you might upload a whole bunch of sources and then use that as your model that you are interacting with, asking questions, chatting, just like ChatGPT. With Illuminate, you're typically adding only one piece of text, or at least that's what I do to keep it simple. You upload a link maybe to an article, and then you can use this simpler option to create just that mini podcast or mini audio component about that source. You can even interact and ask a question about that one source. So once you save the conversation, you can review it, making sure that it feels good to share with someone else, kind of like how you might watch a YouTube video before sharing it with a group of students. Then you can share a link to that little audio snippet. This will work if they're able to sign into a Google account. I would imagine that might change or open up more broadly in the future. But as I'm recording this episode, that's the limitation for it. And then students could click on the link and listen to that little conversation, if you want to use that term. If you've been with me for a workshop, I was just sharing this with a group. I shared this with a group in New York in March, in Kentucky in March, New York virtually in March, not just in person. So with lots of groups. So what you can do is you can take an article. I share typically Time Magazine's Person of the Year or Athlete of the Year with Caitlin Clark, because it's a nice long article. And then I can upload it and generate this little recording with Illuminate. So Illuminate, NotebookLM, two great options. If you're wrapping your head around what you might do with these tools, let's come back to NotebookLM. And I'm just going to share with you 5 ways teachers might use NotebookLM. And I'll link out to the full explanation so you can find it in the show notes after today. First up is conference notes. If you attend a conference and take copious notes, then NotebookLM might be your best friend. You can upload the document with your notes, maybe it's a Google Doc or a PDF, and create a podcast, right? This mini podcast from it. It's not going to be perfect, of course, but AI generated content might have a mistake or error inside of it, but it'll probably help you catch up a bit and revisit the content that might have stayed in your notes otherwise. So if you're someone who feels like you take a lot of notes and you never review them, this is a really great option. You might also use NotebookLM when you are on the move. If someone has sent you an article you wanted to read, but you just couldn't find the time for, if you're on the move a lot and would rather press play at your computer while maybe working on another task instead of carving out time to read, NotebookLM could absolutely come in handy. You could upload the article document or add the link to Illuminate and create audio so you can listen to it while you are on the move. Number 3 on this short list is to create a study guide. So at the end of a unit, your students might have content they want to review. And although you might give them access to PowerPoint presentations and a study sheet, you may want to try creating some audio content for them to interact with too. So if you've followed my work this year, you might decide that your primary goal when using AI is really to explore it mostly with educators, right? Looking at the tool from the instructional planning lens. That's something I definitely do. Well, this might come in handy. And of course, you could use NotebookLM to create some content for students to consume without them interacting with this particular tool themselves. So that's one of the things I'm really excited about. So if we think about 5-ish ways teachers can use NotebookLM, it may be to do what we started with, right, which is upload some source material and create a notebook for yourself. Head to Illuminate, a subset of NotebookLM, and bring an article or book to life. Take your conference notes and turn it into audio. Use it while you're on the move to review content someone shared with you, or create a study guide that might help you or help students if you decide to make that content student-facing. So these quick ideas are really just scratching the surface of what's possible, of ways that you can use NotebookLM. And as you dive into this yourself, you're totally going to find other use cases, ones that connect back with your everyday work, needs of your students, you name it. So if you've got a great idea to share, send a message my way. I look at every DM that comes to Instagram, so you can just send it to Class Tech Tips, and I read every email that comes as a reply to my weekly newsletter. You can sign up, it's totally free, by going to classtechtips.com/newsletter. So let's make this EdTech easy with a few key points from today's episode. Transform documents into audio resources using NotebookLM. Create audio study guides and article summaries quickly. Generate AI-powered conversations about books and articles. Make learning content more accessible with AI-generated audio. Remember, you can find the show notes and full list of resources from this episode by heading to the website that's dedicated to this podcast. All you have to do is type in easyedtechpodcast.com. You'll see all of the episodes, including today's, number 314. This episode is sponsored by my mini course, Learn ChatGPT This Summer, which is available to all members of my AI and education membership. Join today and stay for 1 month, the whole school year, or however long you like. You'll get instant access to my mini course, Learn ChatGPT This Summer, with 6 short videos. It's built into my AI and education membership, so you'll get all the member perks too, like a new video update each month and plenty more to explore. Go to my website, classtechtips.com/AI, to find the link to the membership. That's classtechtips.com/AI for all of the details. Thank you for listening to this new episode of the Easy EdTech podcast. I love creating new episodes for you each week, but I could use a bit of help spreading the word about the podcast. Can you leave a rating or review on your favorite podcast app? Spotify will let you tap on the stars, and Apple Podcasts will let you tap on the stars and leave a 1 or 2 sentence review. Thank you so much for taking this extra step. It helps other educators find episodes like this one when they're searching for EdTech tips.